Welcome. It's your man God of Docs back with another episode of the Audible. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Yeah, my weekend was okay, man. All things considered, it was okay. Of course, I'm talking about my boys. Oh, Jesus. Mike McCarthy, Dak. We'll talk about it. Like I said, hope everybody's had a good weekend. And we back, man. We back. How you doing, beautiful? I saw Dr. Nikki here earlier. Yes. Break it down. This past weekend's games. Like I said, you don't know how to. I like to get the housekeeping out of the way. Be back over here Thursday. I will be doing a Freestyle Friday show over here. Um, I got something I kind of want to put out there, so I'll be doing a show over here for sure. Friday. I'm not sure about the other space just yet. Not sure. I got some stuff in the works. Some work. But yeah, let's kind of get into it. Oh, Miss Murph, shout out to the Eagles. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. I'll stay over here with you. Yeah, beautiful. I'll talk about that a little bit at the end of the show. I'll talk about that just a tad bit at the end of the show because I got some thoughts and I like to kind of get it out in the quiet corporate space over here. All right, let's got to get into it. I was going to start off the show talking about them boys. I was going to give them, the hee haw donkey of the day, worst team of the week, buzzer, but after careful consideration, I mean they were lead dog coming into today. I ain't gonna lie to you. I felt some kind of way about this past Sunday's game, but I said, you know what? You got to be objective. You can't come in here as a fan. You got to come here as an analyst. Really break it down. I guess worst team of the week, man. Is clearly the Denver Broncos. Give them several bubbles. I mean, the worst performance I have ever seen. I'm just gonna, be blunt about it. I've seen some teams get blown out. On Sundays, I've seen teams have bad games. Hold on, I already got a guess. Oh yeah, I did try to. My bad. Oh, welcome to the show, young lady.
Hey, I was trying to get in early because I'm out and about, and sometimes reception ain't good when you're riding around in the car.
Okay.
Um, but Willie, what is his name? Willie D from the Ghetto Boys.
Mm-hmm.
He has his own little YouTube. Do you watch any of his stuff?
I do from time to time. I do.
Okay, he did a recent live about Deion Sanders and how the other college coaches are kind of plotting against him or whatever. I thought that would. I wanted to know if you watch it. I got to go back and watch. I just saw the title, of it. If that would be a good thing for us to discuss, in lieu of what happened, with the game this week. I just
Yeah,
thought that
yeah.
that was interesting.
We could do that on Friday. Because I did see some comments. Not just I saw Willie D did something, but I haven't watched it yet. But I did catch Ryan Clark and his crews. They did a podcast and they was kind of talking about how it, Oregon's coach was like, yeah, they doing it for clicks. We're doing it for wins, but you had to, you
Oh
made sure
yeah,
the
I was
cameras.
pissed off about that.
So yeah, we could do that on Friday. That is a good topic to kind of add into the mix. I see I will be doing a freestyle Friday show. So yeah, we could do that. We could definitely do that.
Okay, I mean, I just thought that was interesting, especially in lieu of what happened and the fact that if they only won one game last season, if he's already up three, I mean, he's done better than what they did all of last year. So again, I'll just save the rest of my commentary for Friday, but I just wanted to bring that to your attention real quick.
Oh, not
And
a problem.
my
Not a
husband's over here. My husband's over here on the phone too, so I don't want to compete with that. But it's
Okay.
proof that I do have one. Hint, hint. So I'll back at you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Not a problem, young lady.
I'm
Not a
still a
problem.
Cowboys fan, damn it.
Yes. We gonna talk about it. I gotta. I'm not gonna talk as a fan. I'm gonna be talking as an analyst. But
I know, but I'm still a fan and I can analyze my team that I don't trust until we actually win. So it's okay. I get it. I'm okay. I did pout, but I'm okay. But I'm gonna drop down.
all right. Appreciate
And
it,
Miss
man.
Murph, we can be friends next week. This week I'm mad at you because you threw shots. about my team.
No, don't worry, Miss Murph. We got her lined up for later on this season. She don't know it yet. She don't know it yet. She don't.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, drama. Thank you. I mean,
Nope.
dots. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. All right, all right. Like I said, appreciate Dr. D kind of slide through. I like that. You know, we can kind of expound on the conversation we had last week. Gator Girl already coming in with the hey, damn, Gator Girl, can you come in and say, hey, how you doing? How was your weekend? Nice to see you. How about them Cowboys? Okay, we're gonna talk about it, but I want to talk about the worst professional football performance I've ever seen in real time. In real time, I watched the game, Miami and Denver. The worst goddamn performance I have ever seen by a professional NFL team. Now, it's one thing to get, blown out at the Chicago Bears. It happened this weekend. Sometimes the talent gap is that wide. You just don't have your A game. It just doesn't go your way. But the body language from the Denver Broncos, it's like, and I can't even. I know a lot has been made about Sean Payton and the coaching job he's done thus far. Ain't won nothing up there in Denver. I thought, this was going to be a pretty decent team coming into the season, but I'm not going to put the blame for Sunday's game on. Clearly, I'm not going to put all the blame on Sean Payton. I know a lot of people are doing that in the media right now. Yeah, Miss Murphy, it was brutal. It was brutal. I mean, it was clear they could have put up 80 plus. They could have put up 80 plus. They clearly could have put up 80 plus. When you get blown out like that as a professional football team, you used to see that kind of stuff in college football. They would bring in Coppin State, Appalachian State, for like a homecoming game. The Power 5 teams, come in, hey, take this game check, get your guys blown out, and maybe this money we're giving you can help you buy some new weight equipment for your athletic facility. But man, to see a professional team to get dismantled like that, to give up 300-yard pass, 2 running backs over 100 yards. I mean, and they did all this without Jalen Waddle. I mean, yes, you got to give Denver Broncos the biggest buzzer of the week. Yeah, worst performance. But let's kind of move on from that game because it's not much to take away from that. Miami has clearly showed their offense when it clicks, it clicks. We're going to see how that translates through the rest of the season. Like I said, you won't get no overreactions out of me until like week 5. By that time you kind of know who's who and what's what. Speaking of who's who, my Cowboys. I know some of you have been waiting for me to kind of break them down. Break them down and man, I ain't gonna lie to you, I was pissed off watching the game. And the reason why I was being pissed off, I talked about this last week when I was doing the preview. I did have my Cowboys winning the game, but I said, hey, a quarterback like a Josh Dobbs, a guy who can move the pocket, gives us problems. Has traditionally given us problems. When we're able to pin our ears back, get after the quarterback ain't got no mobility about him, we can wreak havoc. But when we got a guy, we it seems like the reaction time is just a tad bit off when we're playing guys that can move in the pocket, and it showed. In the first half of that game, Arizona came out with a mindset we're not going to be disrespected. And I get it. Your double-digit underdogs at home early in the season. Not much is expected. Yeah. I did say it might be a trap game, Ms. Murray. I said something about mobile quarterbacks give me pause. I am a fan. I am Cowboys to the day I die. But as an analyst, I got to really break it down. Guys that can move give us problems. When they can move, it opens up running lanes that would normally be there. You saw us get gashed repeatedly in the run game against Arizona. Shout out to them for doing what they were supposed to do to get the win. I think the second half was an opportunity. We missed some very key moments, especially going forward on 4th down. We should have just got the field goal, made it a different kind of game. The momentum was swinging our way, but when you go for it, you don't get it. You're already down. Blown coverage. Yeah, Arizona though. Yeah, Gator Girl. I mean, I didn't have Arizona going winless. They had to beat somebody. I just didn't want them to beat us. But I mean, they played a real good game. Played a real good, especially the first half. Second half to kind of just capitalize on some of our key mistakes. Like I said, started out in the third quarter with momentum, drove the ball. I don't know why you go for it. I'm not gonna beat Dak across the head by that particular interception. I mean, It is what it is. It's when I told you, when Dak throws me, he throws and he goes big. I said before the game when I was doing my breakdown, I said, what was concerning me about the Cowboys coming to this game: one, the mobile quarterback, and two, our issues in the red zone. And those issues continued with Sunday's game. Our defense was shit. Yeah. I mean, let's call it for what it is. I knew it was going to be one of those games first quarter when Dobbs was cooking and they got up on us, allowed the run game to kind of get going. Shout out to them. I'm not going to like I said, I say my overreactions to after week 5. After week 5, it'd be a different conversation. It might be cussing, talking about get Dak up out of here, but I'm not going to do that now with any team. But shout out to them for getting the win. Let's kind of break down some of the key games, other key games I watched over the weekend. Falcons and Lions turned out to be a very good game. Lions did win at home. Falcons, you got to get your quarterback, man. I think that's the next step for this offense. You got talent at the running back position. You got a pretty good offensive line. The team that offensive line that can open up holes in the run game. You have a prototypical tight end. You have some wide receiver talent. You have some talent up there in Atlanta. You got to go out and get a quarterback. I don't think Desmond Ridder is the answer unless he flips the switch from here on out. He's not the answer. And Atlanta is one of those. When I broke down the NFC South, it was one of those teams like, hey, you can see him winning the division, you can see him ending at the bottom of the division. It's a weird team. Ridder is the issue for me. I think Detroit, did what they're supposed to do and handle business. I will say, probably the most competitive game and most interesting game of the weekend for me would have to probably be Saints Packers. I didn't have a lot of expectations for this game coming in, mainly because these are not two of the marquee headline teams coming into this season. But shout out to Jordan Love for playing strong in the fourth quarter. Coming into the fourth quarter, you're down 17. Now, granted, Carr got hurt for New Orleans, so we might be having a different conversation today if he just stayed healthy throughout the game. But, shout out to Jordan Love for doing making the plays he was supposed to make, brought the team back. It did come down to like a last-minute field goal miss by the Saints. I want to say this, I'm going to kind of segue here because I forgot this guy was even a backup quarterback in the league because I haven't seen him on the field in so long. You cannot tell me it is 32 other quarterbacks better than Jameis Winston starting in the NFL. You can't tell me Jameis Winston is not an upgrade over a Sam Howell or a Zach Wilson. I mean, he has his issues, he has his warts as far as the turnovers and stuff is concerned, but you cannot tell me it is 32 other guys better than Jameis Winston in the National Football Association. But hey, it is what it is. Hopefully he gets the opportunity after this season to really show what he can do when given another shot at start, because he wasn't bad as a starter. He just had his issues with the turnovers. This I don't get it. I don't get it, but hey, it's neither here nor there. But very good game by both teams. I think Saints defense kind of faltered in the fourth quarter. Let Green Bay kind of get going, get cooking. But Green Bay, you made the plays you were supposed to make. Great game. A weird game watching. I caught like the second half of this game. I'll be flipping. Thank for the NFL package. Chargers and Vikings. What is? I talked about this last week. It seems like with certain teams, something seems to be off. Like I can't really put my finger on it. I don't know if it's something we haven't been told. Is it maybe a locker room issue, something dealing with the coaching? But something seems to be off, especially with these two teams. Vikings are now at 0-3. It's been talks or reports that the leaked out that the Jets may be interested in pursuing Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins on the last year of his deal. You're the Jets. Zach Wilson has obviously shown you he didn't put the work in. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Didn't put the work in this offseason, even with Aaron Rodgers coming in to possibly be lined up. If I was Zach Wilson, I would have spent the summer, really, really honing in my game, getting better and better and better. Because if I ever got the opportunity to showcase my talent, I could possibly get a job elsewhere, in this league. But what you got on game tape so far this season has been trash. Now, granted, you've been out a trash line, but that's neither here nor there. But Chargers, Vikings, I mean, shout out to the Chargers for holding on to the win. It's like watching the game. It's just like they was making key mistakes. Like neither team wanted to win. You get the Vikings driving down the field in the last minute of the game, and you get down there within the goal line. You have no timeout. You got about 30 seconds on the clock, and you guys are just casually getting up there, running the plays like this is the end of the first quarter. I don't know what was going on. Like I said, it was a weird game. I don't think the Chargers are thus far, and I'm just going to say thus far, are not as good as advertised. I had them being one of my teams that kind of impinned to be a playoff team in the AFC. They're not giving me that vibe. It's just something seems awful with several teams this year. Something seems off with several teams this year, and the team that I told you guys, I want to say, did I pick the Texans over the Jags? I'm not sure. Gator Girl will probably tell me I picked the Jags, and she'll say all my how she is about my picks. But Jacksonville, I've been telling you, I told you this off season, I told you the first couple of weeks of the season, I'm not on the Trevor Lawrence bandwagon. I'm not going to put him in that upper echelon of top 5 quarterbacks. Talent wise, yes, but actually production on the field, no. That was a game you should have won, considering that, hey, this is a young team on the other side, not a very talented team, starting a rookie quarterback. And I would say this about CJ Stroud, and I like the job that DeMeco Ryans is doing there. You watch what DeMeco Ryans is doing with CJ Stroud, and you look at what they're doing with Justin Fields out there in Chicago. With Stroud, the coaching staff is putting him in position to make positive plays, simplifying the game for him, not overcomplicating it. Because when you look at it, Houston is not a very talented team, but what you're seeing so far this season with I think they're 2-1 right now, is a well-coached team, and this team is going to be giving somebody problems throughout the season. I think this is a team that's going to be competitive throughout. And I'd like to start, to DeMeco Ryans' coaching career. Like I said, CJ Stroud, they're putting him in position to make plays. They're not, doing too much. They're not trying to, make him something he's not. If he's not a pocket guy, he's not a pocket guy yet. Work with what you have. Excuse me. But shout out to the Texans for beating the Jaguars. And let's say this coming into the season. Jaguars, I know a lot of people look at them to take off and all of that. Yeah, the subs going up. Beautiful, trust me. I have been networking. Let me kind of segue here. We can take a little break. I have been networking real heavy in other spaces, especially in like Twitter. It's a couple of people that I'm sub to. They got shows, so I've started showing up. Kind of, getting my name out there and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'm trying to do something over here. Like I said, I promote space. I put way more effort in over here than I do in other spaces. Be honest with you, because I like doing it and it's enjoyable and less stress. Speaking of stress, let's talk about where I want to go with this, because there's a lot of teams that's under stress after this weekend. I talked about Chicago. I'm not going to get too much into it. I had Chiefs going into that game anyway, but Justin Fields just keeps looking more lost and lost. And I fear, I don't think management is solely going to be behind him, going forward after this season. But he just looks so lost out there on the field. Like it's like this. I don't know what the coordinator is telling this dude, what they're doing as far as the game plan is concerned, but he keeps week after week, man, he keeps looking lost. And I feel bad for him because, one, it's not a good team, but you can obviously tell they're not really trying to put him in a position to play winning football. Like I said, I had the chance to watch firsthand what he did in my Cowboys last year when they kind of took the shackles off him and let him kind of, play within himself, but he just keeps looking lost. And that, it's going to be a long season in Chicago. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised in the next couple of weeks you start hearing reports out of Chicago about his work ethic and the time he puts into the film room and all that. they're going to start leaking that information. It's going to naturally come out. Speaking of naturally coming out, the Buffalo Bills naturally came out and whooped up on Washington. Sam Howell is a decent quarterback. Just not a very decent game. Buffalo is one of those up and down teams that kind of remind me of Jacksonville, but with a bit more talent. But they're not overly consistent. It's not much I'm going to take away from that game. I'm not going to say, oh man, Buffalo's ready to roll. They may be ready to roll, but until I see them, kind of put it together for real against a very high quality opponent, I'm not buying. I'm not buying. It just Josh Allen is, he's like Trevor Lawrence. He's been inconsistent this season, and him more so than Trevor because he's more turnover prone. And let me see what I got left. We're going to talk about Miss Murph's Eagles. I've been trying to hold off. I did pick Tampa Bay to upset them on Monday night. Didn't happen, but I will say this. I will say this about Philadelphia, and I said this going to this Monday's game. Yeah, they won, but something, I don't know what it is, but Jalen Hurts so far this season, this seems off. He just seems off as far as when you compare his level of production from the start of last year to what he's doing this year. He seems off. He turning the ball over a lot more. Now, granted, they've been able to really lean real heavy on the run game early part of the season to kind of keep teams at bay while they kind of figure it out on the offensive side. But something seems off with Philadelphia offensively. Like I said, running game seems like they're on point. Like they're going to have to carry them until Jalen Hurts kind of gets out whatever funk he's in. But something, like I said, something just seems off. That's why I was picking Tampa Bay coming into this game. And, all things considered, yeah, it was a sloppy game by both of them, but more so by Tampa Bay. But Philly just looks, if I had to pick the best team in the NFC right now, based on what I've seen thus far this season, I mean, you would naturally pick maybe Philly because they're undefeated, maybe pick 49ers because they're undefeated. I would more so lean towards 49ers, just a tad, but the NFC just seems kind of weird. So far this season. I mean, the Seahawks did beat Carolina with Bryce Young being out. I mean, like any given Sunday, one of these NFC teams could be the best looking team in the NFC. It's going to be kind of interesting when we get towards later in the season when we're talking about playoff positioning. But this Philadelphia, they just look off. And speaking of looking off, I know the Bengals won Monday night. I picked the Rams. Rams got robbed. I'm just gonna go lie about it. They got robbed late in the game on that Tutu Atwell play down the sidelines. But hey, it is what it is. The final score is the final score. Cincinnati doesn't look like they're clicking. They got that first one of the season, and they still don't look like they're clicking. Something seems off. I know Joe Burrow is going to be dragging that calf around and until they blast him and really put him out. Cincinnati just still looks off. Still looks off so far this season. This has been kind of a weird kind of season, with the exception of maybe the Miami Dolphins. I would say that with the exception of the Miami Dolphins, no team has looked very good all 3 weeks so far this season. At times, they may look good week 1, week 2, not so week 3, and vice versa. But I would say Miami is playing the most complete. I would say Miami's playing the most complete football, all things considered. They're still, working on some things defensively. You didn't see that. I mean, because Broncos put up 20 points. When you look at the numbers, it wasn't a bad performance by Denver offensively. It's just, when you're giving up big play after big, I mean, I swear to God, I thought I was watching college football watching that game. But I think Miami right now is where I'm going to put one team is top of the power, quote unquote, power rankings. I would have to say the Dolphins, just because, they've kind of looked, the most complete so far this season. They've looked the most complete so far this season. they're still a bit suspect. I'll take the win. I know you will, Miss Murray. I know you'll take whatever W you can get. You're a Philly fan. You'll scratch and claw and take whatever you can off the kitchen table. But anyway, yeah, they've been doing just enough. I mean, that's all you have to do in the NFL at the end of the day. But you start to notice trends. I know, with my boys, I'm Cowboys, like I said, till the day I die. But until we get them red zone issues, that is going to be a problem. Mike McCarthy, you guys got to get in there and fix it. I'm tired of walking away with 3s when we should be walking away with 7s. It's something we can get a drive going. We get inside the red zone, and it turns iffy. So let me kind of get into my little soliloquy before I kind of end off the show here. Like I said, I was talking, I was saying the beautiful earlier, like I enjoy being in the space more. It's more relaxing for me. And it's part of the reason why I've kind of kept it very much separate. There's penalties. Some of the no calls, pass interference. I can sit here and critique the whole game. But at the end of the day, Arizona played better and they deserve to win. They came out, punched us in the mouth, and some decisions late game. I can sit here all day long, but let me kind of get in my soliloquy here. Like I said, I like spending more time over here, and I've done well so far to kind of keep it separate from the other space. And you people over here, y'all know why. I like to kind of keep it clean over here. Everybody is not welcome over here. That's why I don't really advertise it over there, because I don't want, and nothing against certain people, because certain people that was supporting the show when it was back in the other space anyway. I just haven't seen around lately to kind of put them up on game. Hey, I'm over here doing this, what I used to do over there over here. But like I said, I like it over here. I'm growing. I'm getting really into the social media aspect without having to worry about people trying to come after you or nothing like I said. I'm in the Twitter thing, as far as sharing stuff, reposting stuff, putting on my own posts. Like I'm trying to get way more active into it, because some of the people I'm following have channels on YouTube, have podcasts and stuff like that. So I'm branching out into that aspect, watching them, watch how they put together their shows and their content, how active are they, what are they doing as far as graphics. That's something I want to kind of get into also with the show. But this is a much more enjoyable space, and slowly but surely, some of the stuff that I was doing, I do in the other space will start matriculating over here. Like I may even start moving, and I'll put some thought into this. I may actually start moving the Wednesday show that I have in the other space, may start moving that over here. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm also working on some other stuff with a couple content creators, as far as adding some shows, not necessarily in this space, but in the other space. But it's going to be kind of different. It's times, I'll sit and be at a show, and it's like, I have to, sometimes I have to ask myself, and I'm be honest with myself, like, what the fuck am I really doing here? Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Like sometimes this is, I just, after, it's like after, you're in the moment and it is what it is. But then you really start thinking like damn, what was we talking about? And I'm not saying we got to be kumbaya and hold hands, but I really like being over here. There's some people that have been over, been over here from day one. And Miss Murphy tell you, it's been times it's just been me and her. And I get up here and do a show, but I just like the natural growth over here. Some of the spaces I'm in, as far as with this channel, networking. Hey, one of them subs. Like, I like what you're doing. With the Twitter stuff, I like it over here. And it's healthy. Like Ms. Murphy tell you, it's been sometimes it's just been me and her. Sometimes it's just me for I get 15, 20 minutes for she I'm late. Sorry, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it so much. And like I said, with the Wednesday show, I'm like I said, I may start matriculating some of that over here. But it's like I said, everybody ain't welcome. The people that come through here are people that I fuck with, like that. And I'm not worried about, hey man, jump over here. Like, no, I'm over here. I'm still me, but over here, I'm chill. I'm relaxed. I'm not. Yeah, I like to say everybody. I was very cautious about who I wanted to and I'm still cautious about who I want to come over into what I like to call this space, because this space for me is healthy. We're not over here hollering at each other. We're not over here. Even when we're having issues, like Gator Girl comes through and talks this shit, she goes back to the cloud. But it's not like I want to get at her and we're fussing and all that. It's just it's like sports fans having sports fans conversations, and like I said with the Freestyle Friday stuff, I want to make kind of like I said mix in some of the social issues and some of the stuff that I'm seeing, but also kind of keep it related to the sports realm. Trying to marry them a little bit, but not too much. Not too much. You won't get a front porch over here ever. You won't have a show like that ever over here. I mean, because it's not the space for it. It's not the space for it. Will we ever have shows where we have heated debates? Yeah, I've done those. I think Miss Murph was at the one I did with my man Mark Nash and Grown Man when we were talking about the boxing. That was a very heated debate, but it was fun. It was healthy. It wasn't nobody being disrespectful, but I don't mind doing shows like that. But no. I like it over here, man. I like it over here. Chill, relax. It's definitely a good space over here. Yeah. I don't, I don't advertise. I don't, hey, I don't brag, whatever I get over here, man, I'm always thankful. I always tell you, man, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm not, I'm way more humble over here than I am in the other space, because in the other space, you gotta have a bit of ego. Over here, it's no ego. I just talk about what the sports is. Yeah, Miss Murphy, I was thinking about getting them together. Like towards December when they get ready to do the rematch, possibly do the rematch between Spence and Crawford. So I was thinking about kind of getting them back together to do that kind of show over again, and see how I go. That was very entertaining. That was like the first real like debate over here with that. But yeah, we're gonna be doing some stuff. No sleep studying over here. Damn, Gator Girl, like damn. Like, but yeah, yeah, because I'm about about my time. Try to keep it short and sweet over here. So yeah, Wednesday I'll be back. Probably in the other space. I'm thinking about doing I'm thinking about doing a kickback show tomorrow. I reached out to Hood Conservative. There's some stuff. I kind of want to get his vibe on, get his thoughts on as far as like the politics is concerned. We're going to talking about. Well, I guess I can give y'all kind of a preview. I'm going to be talking about. The migrant situation. If you're on the other channel, you saw I kind of put up a short about that. It's news coming out of Chicago. They pretty much going to set up migrant camps. Trump has had some commentary as far as what he plans to do. If he gets into office, that kind of stuff. We'll be doing that over in the other space. So look out for that. We'll be back over here Thursday, week 4 preview, breaking down the games for the upcoming week, and we have a regular rotation. We'll do Freestyle Friday over here. Working on some topics. Thanks to Dr. Nick for suggesting that. We kind of throw that into the mix, but working on some topics for the Freestyle Friday show over here. And we'll see where it go. NBA. Yeah, with the NBA, Gator Girl, I know the season get ready to start with that. I probably won't get real heavy into that until maybe All-Star break. Around All-Star break. I'll be following, but as far as like reporting and stuff like that, I probably won't get into it till about All-Star break, because by that time, the NFL season is over. And by the time we start getting ready for towards the end of the NBA season, of course, I did a draft special last year. kind of looked at some of the prospects and did the whole mock draft. So we have a rotation. Summertime when there ain't much news going on in the NFL, we'll be doing the NBA content. Again, I know people want me to kind of niche it down, but I mean I like sports, man. So I can only do so much. I didn't want to do so much niching. I can only do so much niching with this channel, but NBA has too many games. I don't really my NBA shorts did well. They did well. Like I said, I won't really get into it too heavy until like All-Star break. All-Star break, by the time the NFL season is over, I can kind of really get locked in on breaking down teams, seeing who's doing what, who's been moved, and kind of flow of the NBA. I enjoyed the summer of the NBA, doing the shorts, uploading the games for people who didn't watch. So yeah, we'll be doing all of that good stuff. But let me get my behind up out of here because I got to start prepping for tomorrow's show. Because when I do those kickback shows, especially with the politics, man, I like to be well informed. And I don't want to get up there and just be reading clips and talking about who's Edward Bloom. All right, don't be petty. Don't be petty. Thank y'all for coming out as always. Like I said, y'all know where to find me. We'll be back over here on Thursday, same bad time, same bad channel. Y'all know the phrase that pays over here. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but every time you learn. And I'm out.